Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita
Namo Om Krishna Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimad Bhagavatam Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Bhakti Charu Swami Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. So, last session, seminar, and I haven't been able to cover all 10 subject matters, but still, I think the general understanding of Srimad Bhagavatam has been conveyed. Has it been? Actually, in ISKCON, everybody knows the importance of Bhagavatam. But it's a matter of understanding what Bhagavatam is actually dealing with and how Srimad Bhagavatam is reaching the ultimate aspect of the Vedic wisdom. Bhagavatam is actually the essence of everything. It has been described, Artho ayam Brahma Sutranam. The meanings of Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutras are actually, sutras mean aphorism. Aphorism means just giving a concise idea which is available or understandable only to the people, understandable only by the people who actually knows the subject matter. An example for that, H2O. I mean, does it make any sense? H, what is that? Don't think that the person doesn't know English. But a person who knows what H2O signifies, he gets the understanding. C6H12O6. H2SO4. Those who know, just that gives them the understanding. Therefore, this Brahma Sutra is actually meant for those who know the topic thoroughly. Otherwise, for a layman, it's impossible to understand Brahma Sutra. And as a matter of fact, a huge misconception is prevailing in India in the name of Brahma Sutra. Because the Brahma Sutra has been totally misrepresented by the Mayavadi philosophers, Mayavadi followers. Shankaracharya gave a totally confusing understanding of Brahma Sutra. He actually presented that Brahma Sutra is leading to impersonal Brahman. But the real understanding, because it is difficult for a layman to understand the Brahma Sutra, which is the essence of the Vedic wisdom. Like the Vedic wisdom became more and more refined or concise, and then eventually it came to Brahma Sutra. Isn't it? Vasudev took up the responsibility to present the Vedic wisdom. So what did he do? He divided the Vedas into 4 sections. And then he started to give different aspects of the Vedic wisdom in a categorical way. These are the Puranas, these are the Upanishads, these are the Dharma Shastras, these are the Samhitas, this is the history, Mahabharata. And this is how, otherwise, at the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it has been pointed out, Bhudini Bhudi Karmani Shrotabhani Vibhagasaha. In the Vedas, the different types of activities have been prescribed. Bhuri Karmani, Bhuri means vast, massive. Karmani, activities have been prescribed. And unless and until one has a total understanding, one cannot actually understand the Vedas. That was actually the problem for the living entities of the age of Kali. Vedas, in one hand, Vedas are huge, Vedas are vast. And at the same time, Prayan Alpayusa Sabhya Kalavashmin Juge Jana. The living entities in the age of Kali has a very short span of life. Alpa Ayusa. Alpa means very little. And Ayusha, duration of life. Kalavashmin Juge Jana, the living entities in the age of Kali, has a very short span of life. And on top of that, Manda, lazy. Sumanda Matayo, their mentality is completely corrupt. Manda Bhagya, they're extremely unfortunate. And Upadruta, they're constantly afflicted by the onslaughts of material nature. So that is the condition of the living entities. Their span of life is short, they're lazy, their mentality is not only weak, but it's crooked. And then on top of that, they're being constantly afflicted by the calamities of the material nature. So what is the possibility of them to understand? Therefore, Vasudev decided to present it in a systematic way. See, what actually happened, the entire Vedic wisdom converged into the very essence that is Vedanta Sutra. Anta means the end of the Vedic wisdom in the form of these aphorisms. So now, what did Vasudev do? He took that essence and he expanded it. Then what happens? He explained it. So if you take the essence and then you explain it, then the whole understanding of the Vedas will be clear. So that's what Vasudev did through Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is a natural commentary of the Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta Sutra's natural commentary is actually Srimad Bhagavatam. Arthvayam Bhashyayam Brahma Sutranam and Bharatartha Vinirnaya. Mahabharata is vast. Narrations of so many different activities of different personalities. And its meaning has been clarified through the Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's why Srimad Bhagavatam is so important for us. That's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took these two scriptures, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And following Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada also presented his teachings based on these two books, these two scriptures. And on the first day I also explained there are two streams through which the Vedic wisdom flows. One stream is Upanishad and the other stream is Puranas. The essence of all the Upanishads is Gita Upanishad or Bhagavad Gita. And the essence of all Puranas is Srimad Bhagavatam. So when you get the essence, then you got the substance. And in that respect, these two very beautiful examples have been given. All the Upanishads have been compared to a cow. And who milked this particular cow? Gopal Krishna, the cowherd boy Krishna. The cow gives the milk for the sake of the calf. Who is the calf? Arjun. And who drink this milk? Which is the nectarian Bhagavad Gita? Sudhi. The people with developed intelligence, beautiful intelligence. The word Su indicates so many things. Su indicates Sundar. Very beautiful. Then Su also indicate advanced. Su indicate developed. Su indicate vast. So all this applied to the people, those who have developed intelligence, beautiful intelligence, vast intelligence. They are the ones who can really relish this Upanishad, essence of all Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita. And as far as the Puranas are concerned, like the another beautiful such example is Nigama Kalpataror Golitam Phalam. Here, Nigam, the entire Vedic wisdom has been presented or exemplified to a tree, a desire tree, not only ordinary tree, desire tree. All the Vedas are like a desire tree. And it's really a desire tree. You know why? You approach the Vedas with any desire, it'll be fulfilled. Vedas are giving the prescriptions how to fulfill your desire. You want to be a king? Right? Even though it's the age of democracy. Follow the Vedas and you can become a king. You are not satisfied being the king, just an ordinary king. You want to become the king of the entire earth planet. Okay, Vedas say, fine. Do this, to become a king. You are not satisfied being the king of the earth planet. You want to become the king of the heavenly planet. Vedas is fine. So this is why Vedas have been compared to a desire tree. It's been compared to a desire tree because it can fulfill all the desires of everybody. Whatever you want, approach the Vedas, it'll be fulfilled. So Nigama is a Kalpataru. Vedas have been compared to a desire tree. And the fruit of the tree, can you imagine? The tree that can fulfill all your desires, the fruit of that tree, and not only an ordinary fruit, it's a ripened fruit of that desire tree. Galitang phalam. And on top of that, Sukha Mukhad Amrita Drava Samjutam. It has been blended with the nectar from the lotus mouth of Srila Sukadeva Goswami. Sukha Mukhad Amrita Drava Samjutam. Can you imagine what an amazing product it is? What an amazing thing it is? So this is how we see that these two are really the essence of, one is the essence of Upanishad stream and Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of all the Puranas. All the Puranas have certain amount of material contamination. Generally the Puranas have, like some Puranas are Tamasic Purana. Some Puranas are Rajasic Purana. Some Puranas are Sattvic Purana. The Sattvic Purans are the topmost, mode of goodness, the Purana in the mode of goodness. But even the mode of goodness in the material nature is not pure. It has certain degree of, certain tinge of contamination. But Srimad Bhagavatam is a pure goodness, Suddha Sattva. And that's why Srimad Bhagavatam has been described as Amal Purana. Mal means impurities. Amal means no impurities. Pure, absolutely pure. And why it is pure? It is giving us the perfect and complete understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's taking us to the topmost region. Like if somebody thinks that Brahman is the ultimate, Bhagavatam is giving the answer. No, Brahman is just the bodily effulgence of the Lord. If the yogis generally, Gyanis consider that Brahman is the ultimate. The yogis consider that Paramatma, the super soul, is the ultimate. But Bhagavatam is pointing out that the beyond this understanding of Brahman realization, beyond Paramatma realization, is the understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam. Very good. Jajganam advayam. Advayam. Non-dual. No conflict. Just absolute. But again, although it is advay, although it has no dual, that means absolute one, advay, but still that tattvam has been described or understood as Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Shabdati. The simple understanding, as I said, when you approach through jnana, through knowledge, one ends up in Brahman realization. You go externally, you'll end up in Brahman. You go internally, you will end up in Paramatma. The yoga is the process of internalizing the consciousness. So internalization will ultimately take to seeing the Lord in the heart as the super soul, Paramatma, Paramatmeti. And then Bhagavaniti, beyond that. That also we can see. Through the perfection of yoga, one perceives the super soul in the heart. The living entity is an ordinary soul, and he sees the supreme soul, the source of all souls. Then what would be his natural tendency? What would be his natural attitude? What happens when a person comes across a very great personality? Automatically his head bends down with respect. Like if you come across a great person, do you stand like this? No. You just automatically, your head bends down. The demons will stand like that because they think they are the greatest. They don't want to bow down to anybody. And that's the problem with the demons. So, anyway, we don't want to discuss about the demons now. So, when your heart automatically becomes tipped with respect and appreciation, your head bends down in surrender. And that surrender makes one to become engaged in devotional service. And through that devotional service, the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes manifest in front of him as he is. And that is Bhagavan. Brahman is just a perception. Brahman realization is just a perception of spiritual light. Paramatma realization is the super soul in the heart. Paramatma is inactive. Upadrashta anumantacha. He's just a witness. But when there is a loving exchange, when there is an offering of love, then the Lord respects, reciprocates. And that makes him Bhagavan. The Supreme Lord engaged, or perception of the Supreme Lord in this loving exchange is his Bhagavan feature. Prabhupada pointed out that it's actually a matter of perception from different distance. When you Prabhupada gives an example. If you see a train coming at night, you are standing in the platform waiting for the train. What do you see? The light. Then the train comes nearer. Then you see the train. And then the train comes onto the platform. Then you see the people, the passengers in the train. So when we see the Supreme from a great distance, that perception is that of Brahma Jyoti. When you see him from a closer perspective, he is Paramatma. And when there is most intimate perception, most intimate exchange, that is Bhagavan. Chaitanya Charitamrita gives another very nice example in that respect. That just like the sun planet, sun globe. How do we see the sun globe? Yeah, just a globe of light. Enormous power, like it's lighting up the whole universe. But how do the demigods see? Do the demigods see the sun planet this way? No. The demigods see the sun planet. They don't just see the sun planet, they see sun god. And those who are associates of the sun god, they are seeing him as somebody who is very, very intimate, relative. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is giving us the perfect understanding with the absolute revelation of the spiritual reality. That is what Srimad Bhagavatam is giving us. And as we discussed in last few days, there was perception of the Lord. In the form of as a creator. Then after creating initial creation, he hands it over. He sends a representative, Brahma. And Brahma is doing the secondary creation. Then what is the situation of the structure of the universe? Sthanam. How this is being maintained by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Poshanam. And then everybody here has that impetus to act or to create. Utayo, uti. Then there are other considerations. There's 14 manus. And what happens during their period, who becomes who. I give the example of a foreman in a shift. Right? The foreman comes with his team. And he begins one shift. When that shift is over, the foreman leaves along with his team. Then the other foreman comes in with his team. So, isn't it in the factories? I'm sure in America also they have the same system. And anyway, so Manantar, then the activities, the descriptions of the activities of the Lord, Ishanukatha, then Nirodha, winding up of the creation, and Mukti, liberation, and then Ashrayaha. So that is the ultimate. That's the ultimate. And that ultimate is actually the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. What do we find in 10th canto? We find the activities of Krishna. Who is this Krishna? Who is this Krishna? Is he an incarnation? This Krishna of Vrindaban is the origin of or source of all incarnations. And Krishna performs his pastimes. Like pastimes means loving exchange with his devotees. And this is how we are getting an opportunity to understand, like, what Krishna is doing there. And by hearing those activities of Krishna, we become extremely enlivened. His pastimes are so beautiful. It's been described, iti driksha lilabhir ananda kunde. In this way, through performing his pastimes, Krishna is submerging his devotees, drowning his devotees in an ocean of ecstasy. Drowning. Maybe the word is not right, because when you hear drowning, then you think it's oh terrible. This drowning is something like you are trying to get that drop of something. And in order to get one drop, you are prepared to give up even your life. Didn't it happen in our history? So many people gave their lives. So many kingdoms have been ruined, totally devastated, just for some momentary sex pleasure. Isn't it? Like Iliad, a famous Greek drama. The whole episode is over one person, Paris's love affair with Helen. And as a result of that, the whole kingdom was destroyed. Their whole kingdom was destroyed. Many, many people, so many people died. So this is what is and it's only, this sex pleasure actually has been not only compared to a drop of that pleasure, but the perverted reflection of the drop of that pleasure. So can you imagine how delighting, how enjoyable is that spiritual joy is, the spiritual experience is, to be drowned in that experience. We can't even imagine what it is like. From material nature, it's impossible to understand. In a ocean of ananda, ecstasy, Krishna is drowning his devotees. Just by hearing, we get so delighted. What to speak of when you are personally experiencing it right in front of your eyes? Krishna is doing that. To begin with, Krishna is so attractive. He's the most beautiful. Like, just to be attracted by Krishna is so wonderful. I mean, just to see Krishna is so delightful. That is how delightful, that is how beautiful Krishna is. And then Krishna displays As a child, he displays his naughty behavior. And when he grows up, he shows his other characteristics, his valor, his power, his strength. We can't really imagine, because we cannot possibly get into that situation ourselves to get the proper understanding. Just consider, Kamsa, everyone was so frightened that even the demigods are trembling with fear just by hearing the name of Kamsa. Can you imagine what a tyrant he was and how powerful he was? He's defeated everyone, subdued all the powerful people at that time. They all became his subservient. All these demons were extremely powerful individuals who actually were Kamsa's associates. So the whole world is trembling in fear due to the atrocities of Kamsa. And then here's a little boy, barely 14 years old, and already he displayed his prowess. You don't really expect that this boy will be able to deal with these people. To begin with, the two terrible wrestlers, Chanur and Mushtik. They were so powerful that just by their blow, they could actually break the boulders. Can you imagine how powerful they are? Just to give an example, even the weapons of the demigods couldn't do anything to them. That is how powerful this. And they have gigantic bodies. And Krishna and Balaram, just two young boys. And that's why people started to complain. What is this? What is going on? The wrestling usually takes place between the equals. How can this little boy fight with these people? These two giants. But not only these two giants were killed by Krishna, their associates came and attacked, killed all the wrestlers. Seeing that, Kamsa is now extremely upset and frightened. You can think of all these emotions are overwhelming Kamsa at that time. And he started to shout, throw him away, get rid of him. Fortunately, he didn't say kill him. He did say kill Basudev, kill Bosudev, kill Ugrasen, whoever is supporting them, kill them. But Krishna just jumps onto the stage, onto the high platform where Kamsa was sitting. Kamsa was already ready. He took, in his left hand, he took the shield, and with his right hand, he pulled out his sword, and he attacked. And Krishna doesn't have any weapon, bare hands. He just escaped those attacks of Kamsa. And then he got a chance and he slapped him on the head. His turban went flying. And Krishna grabbed him by his hair, made him just fall on the ground. Can you imagine if you've been watching it, how wonderful it would be? And especially when you're seeing that he's dealing with a person who was absolutely undesirable. Everybody hated him. Even his friends hated him. They were subservient to him because they didn't have any other option. They're kind of duty bound. Then Krishna drags him to the edge of the platform and jumps with his body, holding on to his hair. Both of them fall on the wrestling arena. And then Krishna just starts to punch him. Isn't it exciting? But Krishna is always not that, sort of, always displaying his strength. Sometimes he is a naughty boy. Let me see. He's just a naughty boy. Little boy goes to different houses with his friends and he steals butter. And he lowers the butter pots, climbing onto different boys' backs, and then they start eating the butter. So much butter, they all are full. So there were some monkeys. Say, come monkey, take some butter also. The monkeys also ate the butter. Eat more, eat more. Monkey said, no, I'm full. And Krishna says, this butter is so bad that even the monkeys don't want to eat it. Saying that, Krishna just breaks that pot. And then the little child of that gopi was lying on bed. So Krishna pinches him. He was sleeping, he wakes up with a shriek, starts to cry. Mother comes running, and Krishna with his friends just run out of the house. And the gopi goes to Mother Jashoda and complains, look, this is what your son does every day. Mother Jashoda was quite surprised because Krishna was all the time sitting with her. So she says, look, but Krishna was here all the time. When did he do that? Oh, so you say that I'm lying? No, I'm not saying that you're lying, but, I can't understand. You are saying that it was at about 10 o'clock that Krishna went there, but from 9:30 till 11:30 Krishna was with me. The gopi says, fine. Next time he goes, I'll catch him and bring him to you, and then probably you will believe. So, Mother Joshua says, yeah, please do that. So the gopi was waiting. Then finally one day Krishna comes to the house with his friends. He lowers the pots of butter, eats that butter with his friends, and then offers the butter to the monkeys. The monkeys also don't want to eat anymore. This butter is so bad that even the monkeys don't want to eat it. Krishna breaks the pot, then he pinches the sleeping child, and as the child woke up with a shriek, crying, then Krishna is about to run out of the house. But this gopi was hiding behind the door, waiting for this moment. She just grabs Krishna. So finally I caught you. Krishna said, please let me go. I'm sorry that I came and did that to you. I promise I won't do that. The gopi said, nothing doing. This time I'm going to take you to your mother. Please don't take me to my mother. My mother will chastise me. She may even beat me up. So please don't do that. He said, no, nothing doing. This time I'll show that I was not lying. So she puts Krishna on her back and goes to Mother Jashoda. Mother Jashoda, she says, see, Now I caught him and I brought him to you. Mother Joshua starts to laugh. You're laughing. The other day you said that you didn't believe that your son went and did that. And now that I brought him to you, you are laughing. There should be a limit to your affection for your child. The Mother Joshua, see who you brought. She sees she's carrying her own son. And she is surprised. Krishna's voice still ringing in her ears. Please don't take me to my mother will chastise me. Please let me go, I promise I'll never come to your house. And now she's seeing that she is carrying her own son. So totally embarrassed, with her head bent down, with her child at the back, she's walking back to her house. Then all of a sudden she hears Krishna's laughter. Looks up, it's Krishna. She puts Krishna down. Krishna is such a rascal. You became my son in front of your mother, and you embarrassed me in such a way. Krishna said, I told you not to take me to my mother. I told you that I'll never come to your house, but you wouldn't listen to me, so I had to do something in self-defense. Anyway, this time I became your son. Next time you catch me and take me to your mother, take me to my mother, I'll become your husband. So you see how iti driksha lilabhir ananda kunde shaghosham nimajjantam akkapayantam. There are so many such beautiful pastimes, which is, can you imagine just participating there, becoming a part of it? How? And he makes all kinds of pastimes that really churns the emotions from the heart. There are 7 kinds of emotional display, emotional manifestation. They are laughter, what we just experience. Wonder, adbhut, surprise. Veera, chivalrous. Rodra, anger. Bibhatsa, ghastly. Bhayanak, frightening. Karun, pathos. So these are the 7 secondary mellows. And all these mellows are experienced in a perfect way by Krishna's pastimes. Okay, I'll just narrate another pastimes of Krishna. I know you like to hear more. And maybe next time we'll just discuss about Krishna's pastimes. And so, you see, you know that Krishna has a loving relationship with Srimati Radharani. And Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes are predominantly based on Krishna's meeting with Srimati Radharani. And on various pretexts they meet, and so Krishna is just waiting for an opportunity to meet Srimati Radharani. But the problem is that Radharani is the housewife somewhere. Radharani is apparently married to somebody. Now here we have to understand this marriage actually was to Krishna's expansion. Not only Krishna's expansion, Krishna's shadow actually. Radharani's husband, Abhimanyu, is actually Krishna's shadow. But this This arrangement is there because the excitement of meeting between a lover and beloved is there when there is some obstacle. Actually, that also reminds me, sometimes Krishna proposes to Radharani, look, let's get married. Radharani said, no. Then the life will become boring. So, that is the understanding of parokia. That the conjugal loving relationship without or beyond the consideration of marriage. Now here we can make one point. That is the highest relationship in the spiritual sky. But the material nature is a reflection of the spiritual sky. Now the highest in spiritual world, like when it is reflected, where will the reflection be? As the lowest. And therefore, that kind of relationship in the material nature is absolutely abominable. When a man has a relationship with somebody else's wife, it's absolutely. But in spiritual world, it is the highest because it is centered around Krishna. It is a matter of Krishna's delight, Krishna's enjoyment through his pastimes. So now see how things happen. Now Radharani is married to Abhimanyu. And Abhimanyu's mother is Jyotila, and Abhimanyu's sister is Kutila. So I heard that the relationship between the mother-in-law and sister-in-law is a very sweet one. Meaning, what I mean is, it's a very, very undesirable relationship. Mother-in-law hates the daughter-in-law, and daughter-in-law, poor girl, she is very, very sort of. Anyway, so that is also there in that relationship. And now this Jyotila and Kutila, they suspect that their brother, their sister-in-law is having an affair with somebody, Krishna. But they can't catch Krishna. They suspect, but they couldn't catch them red-handed. This has been described in this anecdote in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, in Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada. One day, Abhimanyu went away from home on a distant place. So Abhimanyu wouldn't come back for a few days. So Abhimanyu left. So in the meantime, Krishna came dressed as Abhimanyu, right? Or in guise of as Abhimanyu. So Jyotila asked, what happened? You just left. Yes, mother, I was missing you so badly that I thought that I would rather go some other time. I just came back. Okay, my dear son, so go inside. Take rest. You must be tired. In the meantime, real Abhimanyu comes back. And Jyotila says, who are you? Mother, don't you recognize me? I'm your son. You my son. She takes a broom and starts to beat him up. And then eventually they found out what actually happened. This is the real Abhimanyu, and that was that naughty boy Krishna. So this is how they often think. Now another time, They're just waiting to catch Krishna red-handed someday, Krishna and Radha. And one day, their Kutila, Abhimanu's sister, heard some conversation going on in Radharani's room. She eavesdropped. Oh, it's Krishna. So she said, okay, now I'm going to catch them. But as soon as she opened the door, Krishna just jumped out of the window and ran away. She was feeling so bad. Oh, I almost caught him. I wish I didn't make any noise. I should have opened the door more carefully. But then she saw Krishna's flute on the bed. She considered that, oh, now I caught him. Krishna left in a hurry. Krishna forgot to pick up the flute. So she took the flute and she took Radharani by one hand, brought her to the courtyard, called everybody and started to eloquently describe what actually happened. And Radharani, with her head bending down, just shedding tears. So at that time, Purnamasi, Jogamaya, she comes there and asks, what happened? Why are you all gathering here like this? And why my dear Radhika is shedding tears like that? So Kutila started to describe what actually happened. That how, although she couldn't catch Krishna, but she found Krishna's flute. Then Purnamasi started to laugh. You're surprised. Such a serious matter, you are laughing? Then Purnamasi said, don't you know? Last night, there was a shower of flutes. And there are flutes everywhere. Come, Kutila, let's go to your room. And she found 4 flutes on Kutila's bed. Jatila, let's go to your room. There are 12 flutes on her bed. So this is how Purnamasi comes and rescues Radharani from that embarrassing situation. And then Radharani is feeling that I better give up my life. I can't give up my love for Krishna, but I'm getting into such embarrassing situation, so let me just give up my life. So Krishna became aware of it. So Krishna just Krishna was on the lap of Mother Jashoda at that time. So Krishna just fainted. All of a sudden Mother Jashoda saw Krishna just fainted. And there was no sign of life. So she screamed. Nanda Maharaj came running. What happened? What happened? Look what happened to our baby. And he also saw there is no life. So Mother Jashoda said, please go and call a doctor. So as Nanda Maharaj went out, he saw one Ayurvedic doctor coming. In Vedic time, by the dress, you could make out one's occupation. So this doctor, so he asked the Vaidji, my son is in he fainted, and it seems that there is no life in his body. So can you please cure him? Said, yes, I can even revive a dead man. So he came and said, yes, it's a very serious condition, but it's curable. It's curable. if all it'll need is some Jamuna water. So Jamuna water. He said, yes, Jamuna water, but the water should be brought by a real chaste woman. So Mother Jashoda was about to run. No, it won't work. If the mother brings the water, that won't work. So he started to tell that it has to be somebody else. So, and he said that, before that he made a point that yes, this water, the Jamuna water should be brought in a bucket with thousands of holes in the bucket. So everyone said, how is it possible to carry the water with thousands of holes in the bucket? He said, yes, it will be if a chaste woman, real chaste woman brings the water, then it will be possible. So Mother Jashoda was about to say, so let me go and get. No. If the mother goes, then it won't work. Mother won't be able to bring. So, or rather, if the mother brings the water, that won't work. So then different women, different ladies, different girls, and tried to bring the water, everyone failed. So he said, pretty bad situation. It looks like in Vrindaban, not a single chaste lady is there. He said, anyway, let me see by calculation if I can find somebody. So he drew some diagrams, astrological diagrams, and said, I can see there are two persons in Vrindaban who are really chaste. Who are they? Jotila and Kutila. Jotila. So they ran to Jotila and Kutila. This is what happened, and so they're very proud. Yes, this astrologer really knows who we are. So they proudly went. Kutila said, Mother, why will you take the trouble? I'll go and get it. She took the bucket, all the water drained out. Kutila started to curse her. You disgrace to our family. You better jump in Jamuna and give up your life. Saying that, she picked up the bucket and she went very proudly to Jamuna. And as she pulled out, all the water fell out. The Vaid, the doctor, became very perturbed. What to do now? Anyway, let me do some more calculation. Yes, I found one person in Vrindaban. Who is that? Radhika. Jotila and Kutila started. Radhika, chaste, give us a break. But Mother Jashoda ran and told her. And Radharani she didn't want to come. After all that, from his calculation, this astrologer found that. So, with a heavy heart and bending head, Radharani came, picked up the bucket, lowered it in the water, and as she pulled it, not a single drop of water fell out of it. Then the water was brought to the Vaid. He took some water, chanted some mantra and sprinkled it over Krishna's body. Krishna opened his eyes and came back to his senses. So this is how it has been pointed out, who is the most chaste of all women? Srimati Radharani. The ultimate chastity of a spirit soul is in his unalloyed loving relationship with Krishna. Thank you all very much. So, did you enjoy Itidriksha Lilabhir Ananda Kunde? So that is how wonderful, that's how wonderful Krishna's pastimes are. Just by hearing we are deriving so much pleasure. Can you imagine to be there, right there, what it means? And that's what is happening 24 hours a day. The residents of Vrindaban are experiencing this wonderful, wonderful loving exchange with Krishna through his pastimes in Vrindaban. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Does anybody have any question? Yes. Mike.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the wonderful class. Maharaj, you quoted that verse, Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabdyate. So the yogis meditate on the super soul. So what is their destination when they die? Do they go to Vaikuntha or where do they go?
If the yogis, you see, to go, unless and until one develops one's loving relationship with Krishna, one cannot actually go to Vrindavan. Or, not even Vrindavan, Vaikuntha. So, but, if they have developed this loving relationship with these yogis, if they have developed some sort of love for Krishna, but because they are not actively involved in devotional service, they get the position of trees and
Shantaras.
kripas like that in Vrindavan. Inactive situation.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Any other? Yes?
The pastimes you just mentioned, so these are not in Srimad Bhagavatam, right? You mentioned
No,
it's a
these
nectar
are from different Puranas. Some part of it is from Nectar of Devotion, and the others are from different Puranas.
So Maharaj, why is not in the Bhagavatam? Because
You see, as I mentioned the other day, Bhagavatam is giving us just the, what should I say, the outline or overview. It's not the total. Like you can see, like just the mention and very little descriptions of the pastimes. So that's why I said, there are actually millions of verses, not only 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, millions of verses in the higher planetary systems. Goswamis also revealed many of Krishna's pastimes. But of course they have done that from the Puranic descriptions, from Puranic. Yes.
Jai Shri Krishna. Do you study the Uddhava Gita in this lineage as well?
What happened with the...
Do you study that as well?
Yeah.
In this lineage, the Uddhava
It's
Gita.
the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is Uddhava Gita.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yes, Ladini Prabhu.
I too want to thank you so much for this wonderful series of classes. And I have a question. So Kutila and Jyotila, Abhimanyu we know is Krishna's shadow, but who are they? In other words, from a worldly perspective, it would seem like they're perpetually frustrated and embarrassed. But we know that actually all the residents of Vrindavan are perpetually in ecstasy. So how are we to understand this?
Yeah, whatever emotions they feel or whatever they go through, there is joy in the heart because it's an ultimate fulfillment. Like, as you see, like, say for example, Veera Rasa. that is derived out of fighting. In the fighting, they're getting hurt. Apparently, they're getting hurt. But out of that, they're deriving the joy. So, and the thing is that, you see, we cannot, understand or measure the feelings of Vrindavan devotees from our materialistic perspective. In the material, okay, let's put it this way. In the material, nature is full of pain. Did you see what actually causes pain? Did you consider? When the consciousness is interrupted in the body, that causes pain. Right? You hit your arm. The flow of consciousness through the nervous system is impeded, obstructed, and then you're feeling pain. Right? When consciousness is flowing through the nervous system, right? And when it is obstructed, it is. But in the spiritual sky, there is no possibility of consciousness being obstructed. Right? It is actually not only a continuous flow of consciousness, but that flow of consciousness is towards Krishna. You get the point. And that's why, because the consciousness is constantly flowing towards Krishna, therefore it is every single experience is a source of joy. Yes?
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for your lovely stories. I have a question about the interaction that we have with people that are not Vaishnavas. People that they have very little or nothing to do with, or maybe they don't want anything to do with us. Because we do have to interact with them once we go back to our cities of origin. I have some friends that are not Krishna conscious, and this particular friend, she found out that Krishna had 16,108 wives. So she found out through a conversation that I was having with someone. I was a little bit of a loss of how to explain this to people that are not aware of Krishna's divine pastimes. What will be the best ways to approach this?
The thing is that, first of all, we have to understand who Krishna is. Krishna is situated in everybody's heart. What to speak of 16,000? Krishna can have millions of wives. Because he is in everyone's heart. Krishna has a relationship with every single soul. Being in the heart means Krishna has a relationship with every single soul. So 16,000 only? Okay, that also reminds me of another consideration, another happening or another incident. You see, somewhere the Christian group raised this point that this culture, Krishna consciousness, promotes debauchery and polygamy. Because their main personality, their God, has 16,000 wives. Yes, good point. But it has a good answer also. Then they raised the point, bringing a nun. When you enter the order of a nun, do you get married to Jesus Christ? So how many wives does Jesus Christ have? Huh? So, that's why I said I have a better answer for that. It's a good question. And anyway, so let's see. Anyway, last question, and I'll end here.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the wonderful pastimes. They're very sweet. I have a quick question about the perverted reflection of the parakya bhav in spiritual world being the lowest form of relationship in material world. What about, since it's Mother's Day, what about the relationship between Krishna and his mother? Is that also kind of perverted, or
No, that is it's a reflection, but you see, the relationship between the mother and son or mother and child is a divine relationship to begin with, right? Therefore it is not reflected as an opposite thing, but it is the same kind. I mean, it is inconceivable how Mother Jashoda feels about Krishna, but certain idea is there how a mother feels about her child. From that one can get some understanding how Mother Jashoda feels about Krishna. So okay, go ahead.
Niraj, I just wanted to ask, how can, like reading Srila Prabhupada's books, I do read them, but sometimes becoming quite engrossed in other activities, every single day it doesn't happen, sometimes I skip it and I feel bad about it. So how can we develop the taste to read Srila Prabhupada's books on a regular basis? Can you please?
Yeah, well, you see, for every single spiritual activity, the first consideration is a sadhana bhakti, sadhana, practice. So that sadhana needs discipline, doing it. But then sadhana will lead to spontaneity. Like, automatically one will become eager to read Prabhupada's books. But at the initial stage, some discipline is necessary to figure out that this time of the day, when the possibility of being interrupted is less, let that be the time to read Prabhupada's books. Okay? Okay, thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Now, one thing I have to tell you, one condition. You see, especially when you get knowledge, you have to pay some price. That is called Guru Dakshina. You know what kind of Guru Dakshina Krishna gave? Bringing his Guru's dead son back. So in the similar note, like it is a custom, it is, otherwise the thing is not complete. The contract is not complete. So I'll ask you all to give one Guru Dakshina. Ready to give? That every day you are going to read Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? Very good. Make it a point. Just remember, Prabhupada stayed up through the night to translate these books. Even when he was sick, so sick he couldn't eat. He didn't eat for weeks together. But still he was translating. Have you seen? A few days before Srila Prabhupada left his body, we used to hold the microphone near Prabhupada's mouth. Pradumna Prabhu, Prabhupada's Sanskrit editor, used to read the verses. and Prabhupada used to translate and give the purport. That is how the 13th chapter of the 10th canto came out, Brahma Mohan Leela. So just consider why did Srila Prabhupada take this trouble? Simply to benefit us with this knowledge. So please take full advantage of this. Make it a point to read Srimad Bhagavatam every day. How much, for how long, I leave it up to you. But make it a point to read. Thank you all very much. And also thank you for participating so nicely. Your participation enlivened me so much. And I saw how much you appreciated. So thank you very, very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande.